Good morning. I'm Paul O'Neill, a sales engineer with MarkLogic. I'm recording this video today to walk through MarkLogic's concept of fields. Fields allow for you to take several differently named structures, like header, expressions, and tables, and consolidate them for specific uses to say these several different things should all be seen as the same one thing. Now, this is really helpful if you have a concept, and we'll switch over to Excel to see an example of different tables that have different headers, which you can see here at the top of each of the Excel tables in blue and bold. So we have member ID, mem ID, customer identifier. Segmented data sets with different headers can be consolidated with fields in MarkLogic. So when we switch over to look at this data in MarkLogic, we'll start by seeing that in MarkLogic, by clicking on Explore on a database we're using today, there is no content currently in this database. And the database is driving this search application, which we'll come back to in a moment. The search application also has no data in it. So I'm going to switch over to load some data using a Java application called MarkLogic Content Pump here. Let's see what happens. We have 4 tables that are the sources. And in the course of 7 seconds, we've input 16,000 records into the Java application, spit out 16,000 records into MarkLogic, and committed them transactionally. None of them failed. Great. So when we click on Explore again, we'll see that we now match with 16,000 documents captured. If I click on the title of one of those documents, we'll see MarkLogic's XML expression, it can also be JSON, of the structure that was one of those records, one of those rows. And it's self-describing. So the header is actually captured with all the unique value and richness from that table. But if we want to move away from that richness and allow applications to look broad across different data sets, we use fields. Before moving into fields, I'm going to run this quick query against one of the headers that's unique to one of the tables, and we'll see the count that we get. We get 43 records that have a value of $107.93 for amount billed, one of the record values in MarkLogic, which is an element. So we can switch over to the admin panel, the other application that comes with MarkLogic for administration of the cluster, and click on fields for that particular database. And when we do, we'll see that I already have a few fields that I've built, but I'm going to add one to capture the month. Now, if we look in Excel at the dummy list of headers that I've built for this exercise, if we want to do invoice month, well, we can find month right here. And these are the values that we have to capture. So it might be obvious, but we don't have to type in month 3 times. This happens to be the same across 3 of the sets. So we only have 2 values to type in to make an umbrella of a field. So I can give that a name, invoice month, and then go down here and I can happen to choose paths or root methodologies. Autocomplete for month paid. Go back here, root month. Awesome. And that's all I need. Go ahead and click on OK. And remember, we have 43 returned for the bill amount from that one table, but with a field, we can switch back over to our application, reload the page, and now self-describing facets on the side are identifying that going from 16,000, you'll get 5,000 records if you choose to constrain down to just the 4th quarter. You'll get 1,200 records if you go down to just August. And here, that bill amount that we had before, well, the top trending value is actually $107.93, and we don't have 43, we have 168. And the reason is if we consolidate down and you get that 168 and you click on one of those records, it's not just the amount billed element that's driving that tabulation. It's everything that falls under what I've identified as being the same thing. Really powerful. So I wanted to make sure that I walked through how MarkLogic uses fields, and as just kind of a bookend to the video today, I also wanted to echo the fact that MarkLogic has full support for SQL and SQL views, including multiple views on the same database. And it can express those over ODBC to partner applications with application services running directly on MarkLogic to those outside products like Tableau, or directly here in the same console where you would do CRUD-like queries with xQuery or JavaScript. So if I run here and do just a select star, I'll get a full dump of everything that's siphoned through that view in a relational, normalized fashion for my downward applications to be able to work with. Really powerful.